on the side of the room or asking one of our volunteers to bring you one. And we are streaming live on My Info. If you have a question for any of the medalists, you can press the OIS button, Ask OIS button at the top of the screen to submit your question to Olympic Information Services. We have all three medalists here, some of them very familiar to this podium at the Olympic Games. And I know they're backstage, so we'll bring them out. All right. Bronze medalists.
That's me.
That's her. She says her life's ambition is to get Canada's first medal in the pole vault and break 5 meters. She's halfway there.
Wait, did I say that?
Well, according to the Olympic website, you did. So at some point, you said that. You're halfway there with a jump of 4.9. Bronze medalist from Canada, Alysha Newman. Silver medalist split the gold medal with the gold medalists in 2020 in Tokyo. This year, the sole silver medalist from the USA with a jump of 4.9, Katie Moon. And the gold medalist, second Australian to claim gold in Olympic history, a vault of 4.95, Nia Kenedy from Australia. Who, is she back there?
She's on her way.
Coming.
Okay, well, when Nina walks out, can we all just cheer for her, please? Because she's gonna make a fashionably late entrance. Let's open the questioning, and when Nina walks out, there we go.
Oh, the room's packed. Oh, she made it queen. Hello.
There she is.
All right, if you have a question for any of the medalists, please raise your hand. We'll bring the mic to you, and please state your name and outlet before you ask your question. And I think I'm going to ask the first question.
Don't all come at us at once.
I know.
Okay, Nina, Katie, you're up here again, sitting next to each other again in Tokyo. I remember it. You were splitting the gold. This is a little bit of a different environment. Can
Budapest,
you talk?
but close enough.
Oh yeah, Budapest. Oh my gosh, Budapest.
okay.
Yeah. So in Budapest, you're splitting the gold. Can you talk about what this is? A year later, kind of a different scenario.
Yeah. Want to go first?
Yeah, I guess Budapest will go down in history as one of my favorite competitions. We both jumped so well at that competition. We'll go down in history. And, I think after that night, Katie and I were both kind of like, if this happens in Paris, we won't be sharing again. Yeah. And I've been very open about, I wanted to win the outright gold medal tonight. I've been very open with the Australian media about that, and that's very scary. It's very vulnerable, but and I think Katie has probably been exactly the same.
Yeah, I think the position that I was in was a little bit different. I had one outright, and so for me, it just made it a very unique, special, fun situation. I, of course, wanted to come in here and defend my title, but with the year that I've had, I'm just so ecstatic to be up on the podium. I am so happy to, not just that, but to have jumped well. I felt like this is what I was capable of all year if my body would just play ball and hold up, and I'm just grateful it came together when it needed to.
Alysha, we talked about it in your intro. You said at some point, you might not remember saying it, but it was it was an ambition to win Canada's first medal in the pole vault. You have it here. What does that mean to you?
I think it's a start of something amazing for Canadian pole vaulters. I think it definitely had to be done so that a lot of girls and the next generation knows that they're fully capable of jumping these heights and jumping with this type of talent at the Olympic Games. It really is a mind event. Obviously, there's a lot of physical too, but I think we can all agree that at the end of the day, the top 12 girls, or tonight actually the top 19, are the best in the world, and it comes down who can, stay in that tunnel vision the longest and make the least amount of mistakes through the competition. So that's why we're sitting here.
Nina, when you had your winning jump, your winning vault, it was really loud in there.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about the atmosphere inside Stade de France and this 70,000 person crowd that was there tonight?
Yeah, it was honestly insane. I've competed at quite a few majors now, and this is by far been the loudest. When there's a French girl jumping, the crowd went insane that I had to back away and just calm myself. But, I was last in the jumping order, and I've actually never been in a major and been last, and it was an interesting position to be in, especially at that 490 bar. When I saw these two girls miss, I kind of told myself, this is my opportunity, go for it, get it on this first attempt, and this will put you in the lead. And, you know, pole vault's an interesting one because when you clear the bar, you just want to let loose and you want to celebrate. But, you know, in the back of my mind, I knew these girls weren't going to give up easily and I might have to jump higher. So it's about celebrating, but switching back on and keeping that focus.
Right here in the front.
Steve Futterman, for really all of you, I'm wondering tonight, were there any physical or mental obstacles that you had to overcome? I assume there probably are in every competition you have. Maybe we start with Katie, Nina, Alysha. What were the obstacles that you felt you had to overcome tonight?
I'll be honest, when I woke up this morning, I felt terrible. Yesterday I had a headache. I thought I was just dehydrated from the day before. And when I woke up today, I really felt awful. I was talking with our medical team, like they loaded me up on all kinds of Claritin,
Tester.
Tylenol, yeah, right? Tylenol, all that. And so I really I knew today was going to be about staying as calm as I could and as focused as I could and just execute. I knew the runway was fast, and that is an understatement. That runway was lightning fast. And even though I didn't feel necessarily sharp and my nervous system was a little down, it allowed me to focus in a way that I never have in a championship. Don't get me wrong, I've shown up to championships. It's been amazing, but the mental clarity that I had, I think just because I didn't have the extra like nervous, like crazy energy, it really helped. And so that was, all this morning I kept tearing up because I'm like, please just let me feel good, please. I feel great now. So, but yeah, that was what I would say was my biggest battle today. And Brad just said, look, like, just focus as best you can. Just because you feel this way doesn't mean that you can't still execute. You're still fast. You're still whatever else, strong. And even if you're down a little bit, you still have all the things you need to execute. So.
Yeah, I think Katie answered that extremely well. You know, we're all dealing with something. You know, everyone, you know, behind the scenes, we have, you know, stuff going on in our lives, you know, Katie sickness, you know, I don't have the healthiest back at the moment. Coaching situation was hectic today, you know, 19 girls in the final is just insane. And, you know, and then at the most crucial time in the whole competition, the standard broke. And it was like, woohoo, like,
Of course.
throw some more stuff at us. And I think we, you know, all knew, like, the winner was going to be the person that could handle the stress of the Olympic Games the best. It is such a mental event. And, yeah, these girls were absolutely incredible tonight.
Right back at you.
For me, yeah, I think the hardest part, I mean, it's been 5 years since I've been in a final. So for me to wrap around, to jump pretty intense, back to back, like 48 hours in between was a challenge for me to not get too excited, but not be too relaxed. But I would say like the one thing that really kind of got me angry, not mad or angry, but fueled me actually more, was looking over in the stands and seeing my coach almost getting kicked out of his seat. So I definitely had to take a couple breaths for that because my coach is my best friend. He would do anything for me and I would do the same. So I was very close on going and sharing some words over there and really letting them know that of course we understand that there's more than 12 girls in the final, but it's important and it's an event that needs coaches present. So maybe future-wise we look at maybe getting coaches you know, between the stands and where the photographers are, maybe a little coaching section, just so that you guys could sell more tickets and then make more money. And then we could have those coaches down on the infield that we can actually communicate with them and not feel like we're stopping people's view as well. So I think that was hard for me. But honestly, I loved every moment of it. And I just really tried to stay tunnel vision with these girls because I knew I had to jump something high because Katie and Nina have been at these heights for a while. And these heights are new for me, but they've been something I've been thinking about for a while now.
Sean Ingle, Guardian, congratulations, brilliant competition. I was there in Portland in 2016, the World Indoors, where it was staged in a sort of a gym, and we were right up close. And I saw a bunch of newspaper articles that were showing what Mondo did over a double-decker bus, etc. How can we, as a sport, ensure the brilliance of the pole vault and other field events is more widely loved and more enjoyed? And what would you do to sort of actually show the athleticism, the gymnastic ability, and the skill you have, and just let sort of wider audience appreciate that a bit more, if you're in charge of the sport?
Gosh.
Tough question.
Yeah.
Well, I
feel-
think we
go
sorry,
for
go
it.
ahead. No, okay. I think we do, vaulters, I mean, take us out of the full field event. Vaulters do a very good job with the street meets. I mean, we bring that right to train stations, down in streets. I think that is definitely a start. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what else, to be
Yeah.
honest. Having, like, being able to see, I think it's kind of, whenever I look at pole vault and watching Mondo and watching the girls jump, it really reminds me of an entertainment, like a Cirque du Soleil. So, you know, I don't know, maybe bringing in some Cirque du Soleil acts with us jumping could be something cool and just fun, you know? But being showcased in a different way other than just, you know, being in a stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm not in charge, because I have no idea. I think when you continue to see people push boundaries, and like someone like Mondo, and hopefully we're in that conversation as well, and you just see it up close and in person, it's just so special. So yeah, bringing it to the streets and even just in the stadium, I think it's one of those events that tends to get overlooked, but when you're in the stadium, you're always watching. I mean, it's excitement, especially in between events, and I would love us to be, you know, a focal point. But I think when we continue to show up and have it be super exciting, you know, in our case, in Mondo's case, anytime you watch him, you might see a world record. In our case, any given day, anyone can win, and I think both have so many exciting elements to it, and then just looking at what it is, it's just really exciting, especially in person.
Yep, you guys answered it pretty well.
Last call for questions in the women's pole vault. All right. Canada's first medalist, the 2020 gold medalist, the 2024 gold medalist, the podium in tonight's Olympic final.
Awesome.
Thanks and
Thank you.
congratulations. And we can stop the stream.